Hi, let me tell you about Jack. Jack's 9 years old, and recently he and his mum visited his grandparents. The grandparents were excited to see Jack and greeted him at the door, ready to give him a hug, but Jack ignored them and went straight down the hall into the lounge room. His mother, embarrassed by Jack's indifference to the greeting of his grandparents, said, "Jack's tired, he's a bit stressed, not getting on well with people at school. He's just not his usual self today." When they got into the lounge room, Jack had already started helping himself to a piece of cake. He didn't ask if he could have the cake on the coffee table. He just assumed it was there for him and he'd take it. His mum told Jack that he should have asked, but he just ignored her. Jack then said to his grandmother, "I'm thirsty. I'd like a drink." The word please is never used by Jack. He knows his grandmother is a kind lady and will do what he asks. When he's given the drink, he takes it without saying thank you. He just expects that his parents and grandparents will give him what he needs when he needs it. Jack's grandfather asks him, "Hey Jack, would you like to go to the park and kick a football?" With the cake moving around in his mouth, visible for all to see, like cement in a cement mixer, Jack tells his grandfather that he wants to play a game on his iPad. And he turns away from the grandfather, sits in the corner with his iPad. And again his mother explains that Jack's just not his usual self. But that's the problem. Jack is his usual self, impolite, discourteous, bad-mannered, and rude. I've got a lot of patience with children like Jack. I realise that they need to be trained and to learn human behaviours over a long period of time. But I've very little patience for parents who keep making excuses and who are not making any effort to train their children in what are called good manners. The English word manner simply means way, and good manners are good ways to behave towards other people. And to be trained in good ways to behave towards people is essential for the child's well-being and their contribution to the well-being of others. They live in a world with other people and have to acknowledge that. And I would argue training in good manners is the starting point for training children in the practice of loving others as we love ourselves. We can talk about loving others and it all sounds very nice and lovely, but if we cannot get kids to practice the most basic and elementary ways of showing love towards others, then we're just speaking empty platitudes. Training children to say hello, may I, please, thank you, and to pack up or put away things or to offer help to others, all these are common courtesies and they're extremely important because they're the most basic ways we communicate to others that we respect and value them as people and the relationship which we have the opportunity to build with them. Jack, by his rudeness, was communicating that he didn't respect or value his grandparents as persons or as humans, and he didn't value the relationship he could build with them. Good manners are essential for building relationships with people, and relationships with people are essential to our health and well-being and the success of our lives. The other day I was introduced by my neighbour to her teenage son. He told me his name, he said he was very pleased to meet me, asked me questions about myself, and then as he left he said goodbye and wished me well. I immediately liked this young man, and if I met him again, I know there would be the opportunity, he would welcome it, for us to have a conversation and get to know each other. I met his older brother too, separately, and he had the same good manners and I had the same great experience with him as well. Yet I've been to a Bible college where teenagers and young adults would walk past me, and even though I greeted them, they couldn't even be bothered to lift their head to acknowledge me. And they're training for ministry. There is no ministry. There is no success in serving other people, building strong relationships, and promoting your own well-being unless there is courtesy, politeness, and good manners. The Christian gospel demands that as Christ has loved us, so we are to love one another. And we are also to love our neighbor, and we are to bless even our enemies for his sake. In the most basic way, we can demonstrate genuine concern and interest and love for others is to show them in the most basic, ordinary ways that we respect them as fellow humans and that we understand they have the same needs as we do. Good manners is building cooperation and connection with people, and it's a way of opening the door to relationships with others. But when we show bad manners, we're shutting the door in their face. Parents, please value good manners. Model them in the ways you behave towards each other and towards your children, and expect your children to practice good ways of behaving towards others. There's great value in good manners.